The world champions have fond recollections of this place. Marina and Gwendal completed their very first competition as a pair in the Bratislava rink in 1993, and they won. But will memories be enough tonight? It looks like Italy versus France, but what do I know? Thoughts now from an expert. And when it comes to ice dancing, well, he really does know his onions from his bunions. It's the former British ice dance champion, Nicky Slater. Is it going to be Italy or France, and why?
I think it's going to be Italy, and I think because there's doubt in the fact that the French have been putting through their performance this week. I think they have a good free dance, but there's doubt, and as champions you need to be leading the way, and there needs to be no doubt that you're going to be establishing yourself and keep winning here. And the Italians are leading at the moment. It can go either way, but I think it's their time for Europeans.
Yeah, the French say they have a lot of new things in the free dance, so look forward to that. Now, if you want to make contact with us tonight, any questions or queries, or you simply want a wee chat, go to the Eurosport website at www.eurosport.co.uk, click on the flashing British Eurosport figure skating icon to register, and then follow the instructions. Or at this email address, nickyslater@iceskater.co.uk. We've had hundreds of emails and messages posted already this week, and once again we'll try and rattle through as many as possible during the breaks and re-icing in Slovakia. Now we're about to go live to these European Championships and the ice dancing free dance, and the group that you will see is that one. And first on the ice will be the Italian #2 pair, Valentina Anselmi and Fabrizio Pedrazzini. And there they are. They're all set, and so is Chris Howarth and Joanne Conway.
The music here is La Strada.
Just to fill you in a little bit information about the free dance, it counts for 50% of the skater's final mark, and it must include certain elements. We have lifts, dance spins, synchronized twizzles, and 2 step sequences. And here one of the included step sequences in this free dance. One of the main things the judges are looking for in the free dance is combinations of new and intricate footwork, and obviously very good interpretation to the music.
Well, some good interpretation there. If my memory serves me correctly, very reminiscent of the performance, well, not the performance, but the program, costume and music that Susanna Rakamo and Petri Koko used when they won the European title in Dortmund in '95. But nevertheless, they did it well here. Good choice of music. Costumes were good, went with the tune. Pleasing to watch.
It was a very nice program, very well thought out, and some very intricate footwork. They're lying in 20th place after the original dance, and obviously looking to improve on that.
Well, of course, the standard of the skaters is going to improve as the evening progresses. Sincerely hope that you can stay with Joanne and I throughout the evening.
There's one of the lifts. And almost stumbled out of that.
Well, he did well to keep it together there. This is a couple that's making the transition from the junior ranks to senior. Finished 8th in the Junior World Championships. And they've made pretty good strides over the last couple of years. 1999, they were 19th in Junior Worlds. Moved up 8 places this year. Italian silver medalist in the national championships, of course. The winners, Barbara Fusipoli, Maurizio Magalio, going for gold here in the European Championships. So here we go, the marks for Anselmi and Pedrosini. Good first set of marks. And they should be leading if they're going to go into their allotted slots. We're a little disappointed, have to say, with the lack of movement on the original dance. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, but I was, because the word on the street was that we were going to see a few changes around the top. Didn't happen. So the Italians lead, but on the ice now, the couple from the Czech Republic, 17th in the European Championships last year, lying just behind the Italians. This is Katarina Kovalova and David Zerman.
Katarina and David looking very confident in their performance so far. Using good speed across the ice. A very nice dance lift with a variation of positions. Remember, in ice dance, the ladies not to be lifted higher than shoulder level.
Nice. But at the beginning, I thought that the music perhaps was a little ambitious. The first choice dance macabre, which seemed very strong, and their skating ability didn't seem to be able to keep up with the music. But when the tempo changed, I thought the marriage between the music and the skating was much better.
Well, the whole performance started to lift as soon as the tempo of the music changed, and I think that's what you probably saw. In the initial stages, it was a little bit slow and a little bit gloomy. But after the music changed, they started to really go for it, and they started to sell the program a lot more.
Well, a good effort from these two. I don't think they probably could have skated the program any better. They are, as I said before, lying in 19th place, which is in fact behind 20th place, not in front of it. It's my dyslexia playing up again.
That's right, and they were actually 17th in the European Championships last year. So I'm sure they'll be looking to equal that, if not try and better that performance. But I think they might be struggling here tonight.
I think that's a safe bet. Such a pity to have to say it. We've had 5 skaters so far, and there's been one change of place between the Ukrainians and the Slovakians. 23rd and 24th they were, but they've switched around, so not a lot of movement. But of course, for these two, it's bad news to be going down the rankings. So, first set of marks for technical merit, the second set for presentation. And these marks good enough to put the Czech couple into first place at this stage. That's their allotted slot ahead of the Italians. So they keep that going. They were 20th in the first compulsory dance, 19th in the second, 19th in the original. So this couple competing in their first international together, well, senior international. Representing Azerbaijan, this is Kristin Fraser and Igor Lukanin. And their music, Desert Rose by Sting.
Now this is the program I saw in practice from Kristin and Igor, and I loved it. So let's hope they can perform it as well as they did the day I saw it. Already I feel the quality of the skating is very, very good. Much better than we've seen already this evening. The strong edges, the good knee bend. Timing a little bit off there on those twizzles. A lot of emotion and a lot of charisma going into this program.
Well, that program's gone down a storm here in Bratislava. Very well appreciated by the crowd here. That is growing by the minute. Rumour has it that it's a sellout tonight and tomorrow for the ladies free and again for the gala on Sunday. Well, I thought it was a good choice of music, a brave choice of music, I have to say, because the momentum got going towards the end of the program when you're getting tired, and perhaps again a couple that don't really have the skating technique and ability to be able to keep up with that sort of pace at the end of their 4-minute program.
Well, I love the program, I have to say, and I love the music, everything about the whole first part. The music, Desert Rose by Sting, I thought the program was very creative, choreographed very well, the moves long, really deep edges, which is something that the judges are looking for. And then, like you say, it did get going, and they did struggle a little bit towards the end with the power. They lost a little bit of power. But I don't think it affected them that much. I thoroughly enjoyed that program. It's different and very creative.
Certainly is. Good presentation. Sold it well. They knew where the judges were. Well, these two lying in 16th place, so they should lead at the end of this group if they're to hold on to that slot. And If Joanne's thoughts are right, they should do that easily. So the first marks for technical merit look good. They look good enough to keep them at the top of the moment. The two skaters left in this group who are lying behind them going into this free dance. So two judges have them down a place, but the majority keep them where they are, so they lead now. And they have to wait and see whether they are able to move up a place or not. Now the couple from Israel, they're ranked number 2 behind Galice and Sergei Shekhanovsky, the couple lying in 5th place who are last to go this evening. This is Natalia Gudina and Alexei Beletsky, lying in 18th place. And their music from the soundtrack of the Blues Brothers.
That was an And now coming into the last minute of the program, they're really going to sell this. A great piece of music.
Great stuff. I enjoyed that. Not as difficult, perhaps, as the couple from Azerbaijan, but it was skated well. Loads of energy. And a great choice of music. I love that center section by Prince. They've got charisma, all right.
I thought their timing was excellent throughout that performance. It was a difficult performance, a lot of twizzles, a lot of footwork, and I thought they did it ever so well.
It's just to make the point that the judges are looking for the skaters to skate to the beat and not the melody. Great close-up shots there of the footwork. The Israeli camp there. Pleased with the day's work, and they should slot into second place if they hold their slot, but good to see the judges going with that. In fact, they go ahead on the free dance, but because of the results of the other dances, slot into second place. The final couple in this second group, representing Hungary. This is Zita Jebora and Andres Visontai. Their music, Exotica, Journey to the Heart. That's the first piece. The last section is from the soundtrack of Tarzan. These two, incidentally, go into this free dance line in 17th place.
Interesting dance lift. And this free dance resembling a little bit of Isabel and Paul Ducheney when they skated to the jungle, music they used some years ago. And now coming into the final stages of the free dance. They're really selling this program.
Energetic stuff there from Zita Gebora and Andras Vizontai of Hungary. The Hungarian national champions who finished 19th in the Europeans last year in Vienna. They're lying 2 places higher than that here in Bratislava, hoping to hang on to that. And that was a brave program, good concept.
I thought it was very innovative. They were great steps in there. And they really went for it. Towards the end, I thought, how are they going to get through this last bit? But they did. They really worked hard.
Yes, looked a little bit of a struggle at times, didn't it? But there was a section there where they had a bit of a breather. Just posed in front of the judges, interpret the change of pace of music. Really enjoyed it.
And also coming out of a few dance lifts, there were a little bit of a struggle sometimes on his behalf, just to make sure she was secure on her feet.
Yes, that's one of the things that really sorts the men out from the boys in this ice dancing, is the transition from one move to the next.
Yeah, I think they did pretty well with that. But I think towards the end, he did get a little bit tired. But lifting these girls is not an easy job.
It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
But they had some great moves, like this move we've just seen, and this dance lift here. Just looks spectacular.
But had a good result in Zagreb at the end of last year, when they won the golden spin. In contrast to that, they competed in the Cup of Russia, which was a much higher standard, where they finished down in 10th place. So let's see what the judges have to say. 17th place going into this free. So second placing here would guarantee them that. Well, they slot into 3rd place. So they in fact drop a place on the free dance. So it's this Israeli couple, who I really enjoyed, who have actually made a move. They've jumped up 1 place in these early stages. 2 groups now completed. And in a moment or two, we'll be able to show you the situation after 9 couples in this free dance. There it is. The couple from Azerbaijan leading. Then Gudina and Beletsky of Israel, followed by the Hungarians, the Czech couple in 4th place, then the Italians, and the brother and sister team from Germany in 6th place. The ice being resurfaced in preparation for the 3rd group now. We're going to take a break. Viewers on British Eurosport will join Mark Robson and Nikki Slater in the studio.
And welcome back. Group 3 have just completed their warm-up, and in this group we have the British pair, Marika Humphreys and Vitaly Baranov, lying in 13th place overall. That's Marika and her 26-year-old husband, who first met in November 1997 when she auditioned for the Hot Ice show. They'll be on the ice very soon. Back to Chris and Joanne.
Ako ďalší sa nám predstavia Sylvia Novák, Sebastian Kolašinský, Poľsko, Poland.
So here we go. First couple in group number 3, lying in 11th place. They were 7th last year This is Sylwia Nowak and Sebastian Kolaczynski of Poland.
Very good interpretation to this music. The soundtrack from The Godfather. And a nice dance lift. Very difficult indeed. And another difficult move. A one-arm hold.
Well, I enjoyed it. I have to say, probably one of the best free dance programs that these two have put together for quite some time. But I asked myself the question on that last bit of music, where was the beat?
That's right, it was very, very slow indeed. And difficult to interpret if that's what the judges are looking for.
Well, it's not that it was slow, there wasn't any beat in it. It was just a melody.
So what do they do? Please answer the question.
Well, the rules state that you have to skate to the beat. How can you skate to the beat if there isn't one? Nevertheless, it was good. I enjoyed it, and the crowd enjoyed it here. And the crowd is getting bigger by the minute. I think by the time we get to the last group, there won't be many spare seats in the house.
I thought the programme was very well thought out, and they really did try and tell a story. And there's that one-handed dance lift. Very difficult to do.
This is a couple that have been together for an awfully long time, competing here at the European Championships for the last 6 years. They're slowly working their way up the rankings, but it's not good news for them this year. They're lying in 11th place, and if they're to stay there, the place marks at the bottom of your screen after the second set of marks should all be ones, and by the look of those marks, they certainly will be.
If the judges feel that the music is inappropriate, then the mark of the presentation will come down.
So there they are, the Polish couple lead at this stage. So the next couple onto the ice, the bronze medalist in the French National Championships, lying in 14th place. This is Alia Ouabdel Salam and Benjamin Delmas.
This programme already looking very difficult indeed. This is their first time out at European Championships. there, a dance spin. A little bit short on revolutions on that dance spin. Just losing their timing a little bit towards the end of this program. Great lift.
Well, as always, great appreciation from the French fans that have travelled here to Slovakia. This, as I said before, ranked number 3 in France, and they won that by the closest of margins. A really fiercely fought battle for that bronze medal and a place in the European Championships. They enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. A little messy, perhaps not as difficult as some of the programs, but pleasing to the eye, there's no doubt about that.
I thought for this kind of level, where they are ranked at the moment, which is 14th after the original dance, I thought it was pretty much technically as difficult as they possibly could have managed. I felt it was really strong at the beginning. They got a little tight towards the end and the timing started to go a little bit, but I thought some of the lifts in that program were fantastic.
Good to see some innovation here from some of the couples a little lower down the rankings, and the French not scared to push the boundaries. And of course, these two must be inspired by the efforts and performances of their teammates Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pizarro, the European and World Champions. Alia and Benjamin benefiting this season by competing in Skate America and the Cup of Russia, 2 ISU Grand Prix events. They finished 7th in Skate America and 8th in the Cup of Russia. Bear in mind that they're invitation events with the best skaters in the world taking part. That's not too bad at all.
No, it's not.
And wonderful experience for these two.
That's right, this is their first European Championships. They've never done anything like this before, so to come out and perform like that, I think is incredible.
There's a wonderful Moroccan name there, isn't it? So a good set of marks. And they slot into 2nd place behind the poles. And that pretty much their allotted slot at this stage. So 2nd place for Alia Ouabd Al Salam and Benjamin Delmas of France. So now the brother and sister team from Switzerland, 4 times the Swiss national ice dance champions. This is Elaine and Danielle Hubentobler. watching this back home on British Eurosport. It's worth noting that these two lying in 12th place, 1 place ahead of Marika Humphries and Vitaly Baranov, who are last to skate in this group.
Very fast footwork. And very good interpretation to West Side Story. Looks a little loose to me. Not quite as precise as I imagine a free dance to be. Another dance spin. Bearing in mind both skaters have to be on 1 foot only. I think Daniel's foot may have trailed there slightly. Oh dear, just taking a stumble there.
Well, that's a tough program to skate, and they worked so hard. Just felt that Elaine was struggling a little bit towards the end there. She seemed to tighten up a little bit. But good stuff. The program choreographed by Natalia Linacek. Used to training in Newark, Delaware. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I did feel that in the beginning it was a little bit loose with the footwork and a few of the arm movements. But then I think, well, maybe that's kind of the choreography. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But I did feel she struggled towards the end. She just lost her balance there. but it was a very difficult program.
They look absolutely shattered, don't they? Is he all right?
Oh. Looks like there's a problem. Oh. Looks like there's a problem.
Just looking down at them in the kiss and cry area. Seems to be okay, just struggling to get his breath back. But when you watch them skate the program, you wouldn't believe that they were brother and sister, would you? There's a real chemistry between them.
In actual fact, I've just remembered he's been having injections in his knee just so that he can skate this performance. There was a chance that they might have to withdraw, which is why he's being helped off the ice. He's obviously in a little bit of pain.
Well, very well done, Daniel, if that's the case, because you would never have known by watching the skate. He gave it everything, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did.
4-9, 4-9, 4-9, 4-5, 5-5.
So 13th place last year. They're moving up the rankings each year, lying in 12th at the moment. The British couple nibbling at their heels. Have to wait a moment or two to see whether they can steal this place away from them, but these two slot into second place. The fifth judge, the French judge, really went with it. Has them in first, but second for the Swiss. So now to a couple that have only been together since last summer. And in ice dance terms, that is no time at all. Representing Italy and lying in 15th place going into the free. This is Gloria Agoglitia and Luciano Milo.
And already this couple really selling this program. Let's hope they can sustain that right through till the end of the 4 minutes.
There's a moment there, recovered well.
Here, one of the essential elements in the free dance. Straight line step sequence. They really have put some energy into this performance.
Well, there's a lot of Italians here. They've come to support Barbara Fusipolio, Maurizio Margaglio in the last group, the leaders. But they enjoyed that, and why not? They skated well, pushed themselves to the limit. Gloria Agoliati and Luciano Milo.
Well, I really enjoyed that, Chris. From beginning to end, they put so much energy into it. Some difficult dance lifts and some very good footwork within that performance.
Yeah, there were a couple of places where it looked a little untidy, a little uncomfortable, but you can forgive that when you consider that these two have only been together since last summer. They haven't been together a year yet.
No, that's unbelievable. They do gel very well. She stumbled in a couple of places. But if that was me out there with a partner who'd only been together that length of time, I'd be tripping over his feet. That's no time at all. And to start out into the free dance in 15th place, I think they should be very proud of themselves.
Well, the crowd doing what they can to try and persuade the judges to give them an extra point, 1 or 2. A very promising couple indeed. And I think it really does help boost the sport when you've got a couple right at the top of your field. Fusipolio, Margaglio really are pushing the sport forwards, no doubt about that. Looking forward to seeing them skate later on. I saw them skate earlier on today in the practice. I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed the free dance. There's a few people around here that say it's a little weak, but I enjoyed it. See what you think later on. Away for the marks, it's the British couple who skate next. Marika Humphries, Vitaly Baronov. Out on the ice warming up. So let's focus on the marks for the Italians. These marks good enough to put them into 4th place, which is their allotted slot. There's no movement there at all. The only movement between the Israelis and the Hungarians in 6th and 7th. So here we go, we're going to fly the Union Jack now. A couple that have been fantastic here. 13th place in both compulsory dances. They skated a blinder in the original dance. And lying in 13th place, Marika Humphries, Vitaly Baronov, the newly crowned British ice dance champions. Music of a dramatic piece, Hungarian Rhapsody number 2.
Very nice touch there on the dance lift. Again, nice positions in the dance spin. Italian Marika competing for the first time at this European Championship. And really selling this program. All the crowd behind them. Excellent. Great move.
Tremendous. Well done, Vitali and Marika. Well, they've had the time of their lives here in Bratislava. Whatever happens from now on in, they won't forget this trip, I don't think. And Marika came in, had a chat with us yesterday. And she said in the original dance, they skated it just about as well as they ever have. And I think the free dance was a good performance as well.
Fantastic performance. In fact, I think they probably exerted themselves and probably skated better than they've done that too.
Yeah, they gave it everything, didn't they?
They really did. Some great lifts in that. And difficult, very difficult.
Well, that's allowed because they are married.
Well observed, Chris.
So there's Roy Calloway, who's the coach, 81 years of age, would you believe? Still going strong. There was a wonderful story, actually, a couple of days ago. He didn't make it to the practice session. He set his alarm and slept right the way through it. And the team manager had to take these through to the session, but they can chuckle about it. It's a wonderful partnership on and off the ice, this. Well, we were hoping for a little bit of movement here for these two in the original dance. Be great to see them just sneak a place, wouldn't it?
I certainly think they've performed better than the people above them in 12th place. The Swiss couple, Elaine and Daniel.
Marks for technical merit.
There we are. Christina Raguzzi stood on the right-hand side of your screen. She was a former silver medalist in the Europeans with Andras Sale, representing Hungary in 1980. These marks look good.
495049. Marks for
And we're just looking at this, and I can tell you it's good news. They do take a place off the Swiss couple, so they move up 1 place. 2nd place for Marika and Vitali. Brilliant news. There's Roy. Doesn't he look great? 81 years of age. Great stuff. Good team. Well done. Well, that's fantastic news. It doesn't happen very often, not often enough in our book, but they move up a place. That's the lineup for the next group. But I can tell you it's Nowak and Kolozinski for Poland that lead. Humphreys and Baronov for Great Britain in 2nd place. And the Swiss brother and sister team, Elaine and Daniel, in 3rd place. We're off for a break and a glass of champagne. We'll be back in a minute.
Two groups to go here in Bratislava, 10 pairs to go. The good news from a British point of view is that Marika Humphreys and Vitaly Baronov have moved up 1 place, 13th overnight. They now stand in 12th position. And Nikki Slater, your thoughts? You hummed and had just a little bit in the studio.
I did, yes. The start, I mean, it's great news that they've moved up. If we can get somebody into the top 10, then we can get 2 dancers out in this competition, and that would be fantastic. A great start, but I just thought there's room to put more difficulty, more technical content in this routine, and I think that would enable them to be even moving up higher. I think that was the thing for me. I was seeing that there seemed to be places where more intricacy and more difficulty would add to the overall presentation. But she was great, and he was too. Congratulations to them.
Okay, Group 4 are out there. Let's go back.
First to skate, the French couple, Isabelle Delobel and Olivier Schoenfelder, lying in 10th place.
Fantastic lift.
Yes, you wouldn't want to get that wrong.
Already their skating looking very strong, very dynamic. And a very creative program we have here.
Well, these two just get better and better every year. They were 9th last year in the European Championships, lying in 10th place here. I've got 2 criticisms of that programme. Firstly, there was no light and shade. It was the same pace the whole way through. And secondly, I found it very repetitive. A lot of spread eagles.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I did enjoy it. I can't say that I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was very good, very creative. They used the ice well. But you're right in saying there's no light and shade. They could have done with having a little bit of something else in the middle, just to split the music up slightly.
I think that would have emphasized how good the program was, because some of this stuff was just amazing, but it got lost in the mayhem of the program.
Technically, the program was very difficult. Some amazing lifts in there. But I think you're absolutely right.
They performed it well. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to have to skated that.
I was thinking that as they were doing it, how
Just wasn't a breather,
difficult.
was there?
No, all the way, 4 minutes of pure push, 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 right through the program.
And they seem to be able to keep the speed going through the program, which is very, very difficult indeed. In a lot of ways, the program's a masterpiece. I'm convinced it would have benefited from just a little bit of variation.
I did enjoy it, though.
Yep, I enjoyed it. There's no doubt about that. I love their natural skating ability. Really down in the knee, working those skates.
And they have so much feeling.
That is scary.
Superb. Something you certainly don't want to go wrong there.
Yeah, don't try that at home. Well, these two, 10th place at the moment. They'd love to steal a place. It's the Russian couple, Navka and Kostomarov, ahead of them. And the crowd don't like the marks, but they couldn't really expect any more in the position they're in. They'll have to wait for this group to unfold to see whether there is any possibility of any changes. They're guaranteed that 10th spot, that's for sure. And that's important. They don't want to go outside the top 10. That would be a disaster in ice dance terms. Martin Skopnicki in the background, thumping the barrier. The German fans in their droves here in Bratislava, supporting these two. Both 27 years of age. Lying in 6th place, this is Kari Winkler and Reni Losa. You can guarantee this program will be a masterpiece. The theme is gospel.
Just fabulous dance lift there. And Cathy and Renee skating with a lot of feeling.
What about that? I loved it. Love the concept, love the couple. Cathy Winkler, René Loser. They've come up trumps again. Well, no prizes for guessing what they thought of it.
They had the crowd behind them right from the beginning. And they skated absolutely superbly.
What a canny idea, isn't it? The gospel theme.
But they had everything in it. They started out slow, and then they went into an intermediate, sort of slow, fast bit. And then at the end, they just really went for it.
They really did. There were 4 different tunes there. And that last section was skated at one heck of a pace. Yeah, I thought that was great.
But again, you have to look at the quality. The quality of their skating was very good.
Well, they've had a good grounding, working with Martin Scott-Nicky, who does just about everything for them, from designing the costumes, probably even makes them, who knows. But I know I read an article a couple of days ago in the press centre here, and he's been saying that it's such a different system in Europe for the coaches. The better the pupils, the higher the standard, the less money you make. And Joanne would agree with that, wouldn't you, Joanne?
I would absolutely agree. The higher the standards, the more you're away from home.
Yeah, well, he has just 2 teams, 2 dance couples, and one of them on your screen now, and he's got another junior couple, and the federation pay his way. There he is on the left, Martin Scott-Nicky. Genius. Well, they certainly seem pleased with it.
They looked like they enjoyed the whole performance, actually, while they were skating out there. Their faces...
Makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It does, it really does, because it brings the whole audience into it, and the judges.
Well, these should be the best marks by some way. Indeed, they are. In fact, very good marks. Remember, they're lying in 6th place. All the skaters in the final group are ahead of these two, so they should lead going into the final group. Delabelle and Schoenfelder, the French couple, dropped down to 2nd, and the Poles dropped down to 3rd. I would imagine the 2nd set of marks are going to be great. Oh, yes,
Wow.
5.7. Well,
Superb.
could we see Cathy and René moving up slightly after that performance? That would be amazing. So now the couple ranked number 2 in Russia. They come into this free dance lying in 9th place. This is Tatiana Navka and Roman Kostomarov. And their music, Elton John's Funeral for a Friend.
Beautiful lifts there. Well, they had some fantastic lines in that slow start. And now they get moving into the footwork. And just look at that. Fantastic. coming into the last few seconds of the program, and they're really selling it.
Just gorgeous. Well, Elton John would have been proud of that. This couple who've skated with different partners. Tatiana, who skated with Nikolai Morozov, and Samuel Gazulyan. In fact, finished 4th in the European Championships back in 1995 with Samuel. And Roman, who was the 1996 Junior World Champion with Ekaterina Davidova. Looking at these two, you think they've got a really good future together. They haven't been skating together long.
I thought their lines were beautiful in that slow start. They just look perfect together.
Well, Tatiana is married to Alexander Zulin, who coaches these two. Alexander, you may remember, the 1993 European ice dance champion with Maya Usova. And together they have a daughter called Sasha, who was born in May last year.
Some beautiful movements within that free dance.
She really knows how to sell a program, doesn't she?
She's very agile.
Marks for technical merit.
Well, good marks. It's good enough to slot them into their allotted place behind Caddy and Rennie and ahead of the French couple. Judge number 3 there has them down in 3rd place. That's Ingrid Charlotte Walter of Germany. But it's 2nd place for the Russians. So lying 1 place ahead of Tatiana and Roman is this couple representing Bulgaria, Albina Denkova and Maxim Stavisky. Their music for the free dance entitled Exotica, Journey to the Heart. Joanne, we talked about getting a strong start to the program, and this has got everybody's attention straight away.
It surely is very exciting, and they're putting a lot of energy into the beginning of this program. But again, let's hope they've got light and shade, otherwise they may not sustain this kind of energy for 4 minutes. some funny little moves here. Very interesting choreography. Incredible.
What an ingenious program. Some of that defied belief. And they skated it well. It looked as though sometimes they were turning each other inside out. Albina Denkova, Maxim Stavitsky from Bulgaria, lying in 8th place behind Navka and Kostomarov. What a program, Jan.
Brilliant program. And they did sustain most of their energy all the way through till the end. And it was just unbelievable.
Well, it's Sergei Petukov, the choreographer, and what a job he's done on that. It must have taken ages to put that together. Must have taken ages, a lifetime, to get it right. Well, it's incredible when you think that last year Denkova was injured when she collided with one of the American dancers, Peter Chernikov, during the last practice session before the free dance at Worlds. And they had to withdraw from the competition, and it was about 3 months before Albina was even able to walk. So she's got herself back together really, really well, and I don't honestly think they could have skated that any better. It was inspirational stuff.
Absolutely. Speechless, really.
I can't believe that, not from you.
I know. It's amazing, isn't it? But it was superb. And they came out so strong. I thought, wow, they're never going to be able to pull this off. And they did.
Yeah, they've improved one heck of a lot, that's for sure. Although they're only a place higher at the moment than they were a couple of years ago. 98, they were 16th place, 17th the year before that. So they've worked hard, clamber up the rankings. And there's the team. The marks are good. In fact, they're third on the free dance behind Navka and Kostomarov. But they're 8th placing on the original dance, the first compulsory dance, and they're 7th on the second compulsory dance. Those marks added together give them 0.2 margin over the Russians. So second place for the Bulgarians behind Winkler and Loss. So to the final couple in this penultimate group, representing the Ukraine and lying in 7th place. This is Elena Kurushina and Ruslan Goncharov. And their music from the soundtrack of The Gladiator. So a fantastic interpretation to this in the men's free from Yagodin.
Recovered very well there from a little stumble. And I have to say, this couple looking very strong. You can tell that Elena and Ruslan quite high up after the original dance, lying 7th, and the technical difficulty in the free dance becomes harder and harder.
Well, that was a very intricate program, no doubt about that. But I have to say, Joanne, it left me a little cold.
I thought it got a little messy towards the end. There wasn't a great deal in the artistry. They were strong and they worked hard. They really did. But, you know, the music for me is a little bit bland. I think Jagodin was fantastic yesterday when he skated to this music. But for this couple, I think maybe they could have done with a little bit more, something with a bit of personality in it.
Yeah, it wasn't really ice dance music, was it? It's not something you could say, well, I want to dance to this.
No, I was listening for the beat as well.
Well, there was so much else going on in the music, wasn't there? It's hard to find it. Yeah, I'm not sure that it was the right choice of music. But there's no doubting their skating ability. And we briefly touched on it when we saw them skate in the original dance. There's just that little lack of sparkle, that extra little something. It's hard to put your finger on it.
And with a piece of music like this, they didn't smile. They were being more dramatic, and I think that comes across as well. You know, if you can try and project to the audience a little more, if you watch them, they're so into what they're doing. They don't really look up and project to the audience at all, I don't feel, throughout the performance.
That may be it. You may have hit the nail on the head. The fact that they're almost skating for each other as opposed to the audience and the judges. But look at the facial expressions and the extension, the energy.
They did work very hard.
It's a shame. It all just seemed to get lost for me. But the judges liked it. And they go straight into second place. Second on the free dance and second on the night.
So it looks like they're going to improve on their 8th place.
Oh, look, there's a little bit of movement there. The Ukrainian judge is judge number 2, would you believe? A couple of second places and a few thirds. So the situation after 19 couples with 5 to go is that Kadi Winkler and René Loos of Germany leading, with Grushina and Goncharov now in second place, moving Denkova and Stavitsky down to third. Navka and Kostomarov in fourth place now. Great news for Great Britain. Marika Humphries, Vitaly Baranov in 7th place with 5 skaters to go. So they've moved up 1 place into 12th. Marvellous stuff. And they couldn't have skated. That is for dead sure. The ice being resurfaced for the final group now. And a chance for viewers on British Eurosport to go across to the studio there and join Mark and Nikki and catch up with all the emails. We're going to take a break. Rejoin us shortly.
Metabolite.
Welcome back. 5 couples to go now in the ice dancing here in Bratislava, the European Figure Skating Championships in the ice dancing section. Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pézerin of France, the reigning world and European champions, twice runners-up at the Worlds as well as winning last year. They won the Euros in Vienna after being runners-up in Prague. They've won all 4 events they've competed in this year, including Skate Canada. And they face off with the Italians, Barbara Fusarpoli and Maurizio Margalio, second at the Worlds and European Championships last year. Remember, they were in the joint lead following the original dance at the World Championships in Nice and then lost out to the French pair. And just to remind you, after the second section of the dance competition, the 2000 silver medalists Barbara Fusarpoli and Margalio are in first place ahead of the defending champions Anasina and Pézerin. Lobacheva and Averbuk of Russia, the bronze medalists 2 years ago, are third, ahead of last year's bronze medalists Margarita Drobiazko and Puvias Vanagas. Again, it was a close-fought competition between the top four couples. The Israelis also performed extremely well too. Nikki Slater, of course, the former British ice dance champion, is with me, and it's a pretty juicy prospect now, isn't it?
It is indeed. I mean, the last group, I thought we saw some great skating. I just mentioned a couple of things about the last group.
Sure.
I thought that Katie Winkler and Rennie Losser, they did a thing to gospel. You're allowed to do that in an ice dance routine, create a theme. It worked for Chris. It didn't work that much for me. I think there's more development to do there. But it was clever and good fun. And Martin Scott Nicky, their coach, is great at catching the crowd and that being so important. And Marina and Gwendol have been great at that in the past. In Nice last year, they were fantastic. And it's going to be important tonight for them to go out and capture the crowd. And skating after the Italians, they have that ability to influence the judges. Isabel Delabelle and Olivia Schoenfelder, I really loved that routine. They skated first in that last group. Chris mentioned that the music stayed the same level. It's a bit like when Chris and Jane did Bolero. You have to keep the interest and you have to keep doing innovative moves, and some of the skaters, it's a risk to do that, but I thought they pulled it off really well, so those were great highlights to me. And Tatiana Navka is one of my favorites in skating terms, and they've got so much more potential. The choreography in it was a little empty. I just wonder why they can't get and pack it more full, because technically they're excellent. So that was kind of my summary of the group, and it was fantastic. You know, the standard and speed that the couples are getting over the ice, to me, is super.
Okay, just to remind you about the two ways that you can get in touch with us in the studio, and there's the first method, www.eurosport.co.uk, and you click on the flashing British Eurosport figure skating icon to register, then follow the instructions, or the email address, nickyslater@iceskater.co.uk. We've had hundreds, literally hundreds of emails and messages this week, and once again, we're going to try and get through as many as we possibly can during the re-icing that's taking place now in Slovakia. And I've got a cracker here from Alan Ball, not the former 1966 World Cup midfielder, I don't think. But he says, I'm sorry that you were threatened by rabid Anasina and Pezeraf
It's
fans.
like talkback here sometimes.
It's a shame that people have to get so caught up in all of this when at the end of the day their lives go on no matter what happens on the ice. I just wanted to tell you that you are a great commentator, French teeth. Much better than what we get in the US normally. Maybe you could commentate with Susie Wynn sometime. Don't worry about what people are saying, because there are plenty of people, myself included, that agree with your remarks about CNS and ANP.
Well, Susie Wynn, I did get to skate with her a year and a half ago, and that was great. Commentate alongside her would be fun too. She's doing great in the States, former American champion. So, you know, she's doing great there. Thank you for that. But, I mean, I don't mind it. You know, it's nice to have the feedback. So if people don't agree, don't hold back. Just bung it in and we can talk. The great thing is to get this relationship with people on the emails. It's super. And being able to plug in a little bit of feedback into the extra British Eurosport coverage, that's what we're about.
You know, the blood dripping off the canines very shortly. www.fsuuniverse.co.uk have dropped us a line. Sorry you got lambasted by upset ANP fans. Many of us thought CNS rocked too. Yes, they were on their toes a lot, but they belted the programme out pucker, we thought. Please give Maurizio Margalio lots of praise. He really answered his critics in the original dance. A lot of people used to criticise him for his edges too, but he really showed what he was made of. His edges were spot on.
Yeah, that's a really important part of the ice dancing, the strength of the edges and the amount of ice you cover. And they did a very good original dance, and that's why they're in first place at the moment. So it's cool.
David Jenkins says, in response to the email accusing you of leading the public astray, never do that, by criticising the original dance judging, the Israelis should have won the original dance, says David, followed by the Italians, then the Lithuanians, the French. The speed and complexity of the Israelis' routine certainly left the French routine looking slow and dull, says Mr. Jenkins. The Israelis should have been rewarded for what was a cracking routine. So the judging, the fact that they were down in fifth, this has caused a huge amount of reaction here, and anger, actually, has to be said.
Well, it's interesting that a lot of the judges did stay in line, and we were talking about this before, that judges daring to step out of line and mark what they see. And I'm wondering tonight if that's going to be the case on this free dance, that some of the judges actually are stepping out of line and we see a difference of who's going to be first and who's going to be second. I hope that's the case. One of our English judges was saying at our British Ice Dance Championship, the marks were all over the place. Now, that might sound bad, but actually the judges were marking what they thought was right, and so you got a difference. And the reason there's 9 judges there is then you get a balance of all those marks coming together, and the winner comes out. And then later on, you know, the winner will establish themselves more as a champion. But when it's in the melting pot, when it's as tight as it is now, it's okay for the judges to be slightly different, I think.
You've got a couple there, haven't you? Thanks.
I've got a couple here. I've got one from Mary Dunn. Do you think Bourne and Kratz have irreversibly slipped out of contention? Their river dance routine a couple of years ago was magic. Of course, the Canadian champions. My answer is no, I don't think they've fallen out of contention. If they can come back, they're great entertainers. They probably needed more technical content in their routines, but they have fantastic ice coverage and they do some superb tricks. So when they come back with all guns blazing, I think they can really make their mark. And another ice dance one. Nikki, do you think there will ever be another ice dance pair to compare with Grischuk and Platov? Well, having skated with her and tried to keep up, I'm not sure there will be, because she's just amazing and so fast. But everybody's always different. Each person is different, and when you put a couple together, it can never be the same as somebody else. There's no clones here. People might copy some of the moves, but it's always going to be different. So my answer to that is I don't think so.
Let's talk about ice dancers of the present now, and just remind ourselves how good the reigning world champions Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pezarak can be. And this was their performance. We remember it well, Nikki. We were presenting this from Nice. How good they were in the World Championships in front of the extra pressure of being in France.
Yes, I always equate it that when you get to be a champion, you're on top of a wall that's very high in the air, and it becomes more difficult to walk along that wall for some of them. They had massive pressure in the home territory of Nice. They didn't skate very fast, not as fast as they could do. They weren't as relaxed. He was nervous, but they came out and they won, and I think from that they can take great spirit. I think here they know that there's people saying, oh, I'm not sure, they might not be champions, but they have grit and loads and loads of technical ability. And here's the Italians from their program last year, and they did a routine based on, I remember it was Highlander, and it went very well. The costumes went well with the routine. But I think my feeling this year is that they have more power about them, they have more strength, and I think there could be a change at this Europeans, but I don't think that means at the Worlds that it would stay the same. I did think at the start of the week that we could be seeing a time when in ice dancing the champion's role changes. And so often in the past we've had a champion established for a long period of time. It'd be very difficult for ice dancing for that to happen, but I think it could be the Italians' evening tonight. They're my favourites, but the French will be skating with all guns blazing.
Yeah, like Plishenko, the draw is interesting because it has the Italians out there first. What difference might that make?
I think it's not an advantage to them tonight to be in first place. I think it would be better if they were last. Marina and Gwendal, it won't make any difference to what they do, of course, because you have set steps and set movements within your routine, but they do have a couple in between them, so there's time for the crowd to settle down. They're not against direct competitors, so they'll be able to focus and skate very well.
Okay then, just 5 couples to go then in the ice dancing here in Bratislava. Barbara Fusipoli and Maurizio Margalio lead from Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pezarak. We'll be back with live action in just a moment. On British Eurosport right now, it's the free dance section of the ice dancing now. The gold, silver and bronze medals will be decided. And we can now go back to Bratislava and join our commentary team of Chris and Joanne. Take it away.
Well, welcome viewers on British Eurosport, and thanks to Mark and Nikki in the studio in Great Britain. Just in time for the action in the final group. 15 seconds to go in this warm-up, and the atmosphere, I can tell you, is absolutely electric. Fantastic. A lot of expectation. There's loads of Italian fans here. The French are here in force as well, and skating fans from all across Europe. Well, it's a packed house. And you're in for a real treat. So the skaters leaving the ice now in preparation for their free dance. It's the Italians going first, then the Russians. The French, the defending champions, go third. They'll be followed by the Lithuanians. And the Israeli couple lying in 5th place will be last to go. Can hardly hear ourselves talk here. So the battle for the medals is on. First to skate from Italy. Last year's silver medalist, but leading here. Barbara Fusopoli and Maurizio Magalio from Italy. And their music from the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack.
Well, 30 seconds to go now to the end of the free program. And they're really, really going for it. They've skated superbly so far.
Just amazing. Well, the Italian fans are on their feet. In all honesty, they were on their feet before they skated.
That was absolutely superb.
Well, they couldn't have given it any more, could they? 110%. 6-0, that's what they think. There won't be any of those because the French still have to skate.
The French are going to have to skate out of their skin to beat this.
They really are. It was an inspired performance, and you're going to see some great skates this afternoon, or this evening, should I say, because the atmosphere is electric in here. And that will lift the performances of the skaters. Well, I know for viewers on British Eurosport, listening to Nicky Slater in the intervals, he's tipped these two to win. And so does Joanne.
I have. I love this couple. They really did it for me in the original dance. And to see them go from the old style of dancing, like I said earlier, it's almost like ballroom dancing on the floor, and then to come into the free dance and do something as modern as the modern day Romeo and Juliet, which is the soundtrack from the film, is, well, it's just exquisite. They are real all-rounders.
Well, this is their 7th time at the European Championships. Silver medals for them last year. That's the first time that they've ever won a medal. Could it possibly be a gold medal in 2001 for Barbara and Maurizio? Well, they're going to have to wait a little while to find out, that's for sure. The marks coming up now. And they're very good indeed. There's room there in that first set, though. The American judge gives them a 5.9. A couple of 5.7s in there from the Ukrainian and the German judge. The French judge judging at 5.8. The French judge is judge number 5, a couple of 5.8s. And judge number 7 marking likewise. So we have to settle down and wait a while to find out whether those marks will be good enough to send the gold medal to Italy. But this is the battle for the bronze medal. The Russians lying in 3rd place. Irina Lobacheva and Ilya Avabuch. These two won the bronze medal a couple of years ago. Just pipped at the post last year. Their music, Toccata. And I saw this morning. Outstanding. Irina has a different colour hair, depending on which costume she's wearing. love that section of the program.
Completing the circular step sequence, which is one of the two elements they must do in the free dance. And these two skating absolutely fantastically tonight.
That'll do for me. I love that. Well, that's by far and away one of the best programs that these two have done for a long, long while. The speed across the ice was just something to behold. And this capacity crowd here clapping along to the final tune. Just amazing. Your thoughts on that?
Fantastic. I mean, they just have everything in there. They've got the technical difficulty, they've got the artistry, they've got the projection. They've just got everything. And I'm just so glad that I'm not judging it. I don't know what I would do. Only two couples from this group have gone.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? How do you decide? And that roar you can hear because the defending champions have just gone onto the ice. Well, we spoke to Lynn Huddlestone a couple of days ago, who was judging the compulsory dances. And this was prior to the original dance, and she said, God, I hope I don't get drawn for the original because it's going to be so difficult to judge. And just have a sympathy for her because she sat down there, judge number 6, and she's got to try and sort this out.
I think whoever goes ahead of whoever, it has to be on the smallest technical element that they do. Maybe someone might do something a little bit better than the other, but it's going to be very slight. These people are performing exceptionally well this evening.
They are, yes. When I watched that this afternoon in the practice, the music was so loud it was almost splitting my eardrums open, but and that created an atmosphere, and they skated it well, but nothing like that. So the crowd don't like the marks. A couple of 5.6s, the rest 5.7. And they are hoping for a bronze medal, remember. Every judge has them in second place at the moment, behind the Italians. Remember, it was the Lithuanians last year that went away with a bronze medal. We've got the French, the Lithuanians, and the Israelis still to go. Well, this is the battle for the title for dead sure. Winners of both Europeans and Worlds last year. The support here is unbelievable. And let me tell you, they're going to need it. Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pizarra with Beethoven's Last Night.
Well, there was a similar lift to the last program they had, where Marina lifted Gwendal. And they certainly have some interesting moves in this program.
Well, that is the gold medal gone for dead sure.
Such a shame that it had to happen like that.
Would you believe it? Well, what a shame. I couldn't quite see exactly what happened, but in a split second, any hope of a gold medal has vanished.
I can't believe that happened so close to the end.
Well, the ice is being showered with gifts for them. It was a fantastic performance. I've got to say, not the best program that we've seen from them. Not my cup of tea.
Or I would say the best program that we've seen this evening.
No, I go along with that. Well, you can bet your bottom dollar there's a few judges sat on the panel there that are breathing a sigh of relief, because I think that has made their job a little bit easier.
It has. Even though I still would have had the Italians in first place, it has made life a little bit easier for them. But I'm really sorry for these two to have fallen like that. It almost seems a little unfair.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is a shame. It's tough out there, though. There's that lift. Incredible, ungainly, but mighty difficult. Well, there's a real question mark over the choreography and choice of programs, both in the original dance and the free dance for these two. And there's the tumble.
She just lost her footing behind.
Well, here we go. They have to deduct for the fall. There's no question about that. And however much praying they do, sat on the couch, a 5.3 there from the German judge. Well, presentation marks will be good. Look at that. 4th place from the 3rd judge. Lynn Huddleston has them in 3rd place, but they're 2nd overall. 3rd on the free dance, 2nd overall. The Italians will be the champions. That is for dead sure. And that's the moment where it all went wrong.